What up, my dudes? So I wanted to come in here and really talk about some of the massive improvements that they can make with their track editor in Supercross 2, the official video game. We probably won't see most of these changes, honestly, until the next game. But I think there is a lot of different things they can improve on in that area, and it's just going to help the game. Like, some of you guys that look at me looking at the track editor and getting kind of upset about, you know, they haven't really added a whole lot new in the second game and stuff like that. You need to realize, like, all of this new track editor stuff I talk about and them not putting in enough new track editor content, all that's going to do is help the game. All that's going to do is make the game 10,000 times bigger than it already is. If they add the certain stuff that I'm saying in their track editor, that's all it's going to do. Another thing I would add in there is obviously way more custom track pieces to the track editor. I mean, it's crazy to me how they don't even have a sand straightaway, but they have sand corners and a couple of sand jumps. Like, how the fuck hard is it to go in there and put a sand straightaway section? You already have sand corners. That literally would have taken you, like, not that long at all. There's no way. Because you already have the sand corners. You already have the sand sections, but you just don't have a sand straightaway. Like, it's so stupid. It makes no sense. Go in there, put that in there. I know they had a couple of those open slots, kind of like maybe they would add more stadium options in there. So what would be really cool is if you had some sort of, and I've said this before the games came out, but went in there and made more stadium options in the sense of certain cutout areas on your compound track that you can, like, use as a quote-unquote stadium area and just build your own custom track that's not even actually in a stadium, right? It's just completely outside. And you can make a supercross track, motocross track, hybrid track, whatever the hell you want to make on that, and you can build it in that certain, like, selected area, right? So that would be sick if they did that, and then went in there and made basically, you know, and they already have the compound area. All they'd have to do is basically just flatten out one spot, like where this motocross track is over here, one of these supercross tracks, just totally flatten that completely out and make that a kind of like a track editor area that you can build a track in and have it completely outside, you know, completely outdoors. I think that would be key. That would be, like, amazing if you did that. And obviously in the track editor, you guys know how you can, like, totally adjust the start straight and stuff, right? You can make it longer, kind of change the actual start straight pieces and stuff like that. You can actually kind of, like, morph them into whatever you want them to be. You can make them longer, more narrow, shorter, turn them, whatever the hell you want to do. Well, eventually, and this is really what I expected to have been in the first game or in this game, eventually they need to make that to where you can morph every single track editing piece in the game, not just the start straights, right? This is the key right here, Milestone. I'm telling you how to, the billion-dollar idea is right here, bro. You've already made it to where you can adjust your start straight. You can morph it, scale it, you know, warp it, and shit like that. Make it to where you can do that to every single custom track piece in the game, okay? The shit is simple, dog. So, you know how you got your, like, standard, like, whoop sections, whatever the hell? Well, basically, you could go in there and have a whoop, right, and just extend it super long, and it would make sort of like a long roller in that sense, and you could adjust it however long you wanted it to be. So you could have, like, you could turn a small little whoop piece into a super long, like, true motocross roller piece, and you could change the narrowness of it. You could change, you know, all of that. So you could change your width of your tracks. So you can have more wide motocrossy style tracks. You could go in there on your, you know, your actual, like, standard triple jumps or something and just extend the actual length of it, right? And it would make it like this super long, elongated triple that's more of a motocrossy style triple. I know that can be a little bit confusing in your mind trying to figure out what the hell that, like, actually would mean or look like, but just being able to scale and skew and morph every single custom track piece in the game, and it would actually change that obstacle, you know? It would actually elongate the obstacle or make the obstacle more narrow, not just, like, keep the same obstacle, but make the custom piece bigger. It actually is going to change that jump or whoop or pool or whatever the hell is on it. So that's like key. That's like must be in it. Man, I don't know how they don't have that in there, to be completely honest with you. They have the start straights where you can totally adjust them, skew them, do everything with the actual piece, make it bigger, shorter, but they don't have it to where you can do that with the custom pieces. This will absolutely revolutionize your track editor. It'll make where tracks actually feel more one of a kind, because depending on how much you actually, make that particular obstacle longer or more narrow, it's going to totally change the way it feels, and you're going to have a trillion different types of customization options within that. So you could turn a whoop into a super long roller, turn a triple into a, super long motocrossy style triple, something like that. That would be insane if they did that. If you did that in a DLC, I would come on here and be like, goddamn, Milestone, like, you got it going on now, dude. So that would be awesome. But nonetheless, even if they didn't do that, if they just went in there and just added more custom pieces, man, just in general, just more pieces, like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, dude. Why can I not put a red clay corner? Like a more Atlanta-style track corner? Where's all those pieces? Why is it only sand corners and standard dirt shit? Like, I want to be able to go in there and put all these different kind of dirt compounds. Super dry, hard, packy dirt compound. Your standard dirt compound in your track editor is more of just a like a brownie mix dirt type vibe to it. But I want to be able to go in there and do all that. Make a full-blown sand track. You should like on your straightaway menu in your track editor, you should literally have like, red clay straight of all 3 different straight options, like really short, long, medium sized. You should have the sand straight. You should have the standard dirt straight. You should have a hard pack, dry blue groove straight. You should have a, whatever you want to have, a mud straight, where you could have a track that's got certain mud areas, but other areas that are dry on it. And then every single one of your jump obstacles should have all 4 different types of dirt compounds, right? So every one of your whoops should be able to have sand whoops, clay whoops, hard pack whoops, mud whoops, and that should be able to be put on the track. This is all simple, like standard shit that should just be in the game, period. I mean, I don't understand where that, confusion comes from there, but at the end of the day, moral of the story, all of this shit, new custom track editor stuff we've gotten in Supercross 2, that should have been in the first game 1,000%. Like, without a doubt, should have been in the first game. But it's not in the first game because they give you this 0.5 game. They give you this minimalistic content. And that's why you're just now seeing this stuff in the second game. I expected you to be able to make your own start straight, make it longer, shorter, warp the start straight in the first game. Hell, I expected you to be able to do that with every single custom track piece in the game. Right? Like, you're looking at it in such a different realm than what I'm seeing it. Some of you guys are looking at it like that. You're looking at it like, just because you can all of a sudden make your own start straight in Supercross 2, oh my god, that is such a crazy improvement. Oh, Spencer, it's so much better. Like, dude, should have been in the first game. It's not that crazy. That's to be expected. You got to understand how they were putting this off before Supercross 2, the official video game, came out. They were saying, this is a new track editor. We've got a lot of new stuff in here, guys. New pieces, new stuff. Like, I was expecting, 50 new custom track pieces in there, like minimum. I'm talking minimum. Because that's all you can build your tracks with. I know that might seem kind of crazy, like, damn, Spencer, 50 new custom track pieces? That's pretty insane. But the fact that that's all you can build your tracks with is the pre-made pieces that they give you, and you can't really adjust them all that much. I mean, you can flip them, but that's about all you can fucking do. You can flip like a, whatever kind of jump to a different side, but that's it. You can't, like, actually adjust the size of stuff, skew, make stuff bigger. You can't really do any of that. So, that's why needing 50 new custom track pieces in there is so critical, because it feels like the same damn track editor when you only have 10 new custom track pieces in there. It's like, oh, good, I can make a sand corner. Great. Like, Yeah, I thought that would have been in the first game. Like, damn, they need to have sand tabletops, sand triple jumps, sand whoops, sand straightaways, all of this new stuff. Every single custom track piece in the game should be able to be like 3 or 4 completely different dirt compounds. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually how it should be in there. So, you know, some of you guys, you're looking at it in such a minimalistic way because Milestone has trained you to look at it in a minimalistic way because they look at it in a minimalistic way. If you understand most motocross games and most content in games and most track editors and stuff, you'd realize how very little they're actually giving you from a 1 to a second game. If this is all the improvement that we get from a Supercross 1 to Supercross 2, like 10 to 15 new custom track pieces, and you can actually make your own start straight, and that's about it. Like, we're never going to get anywhere. I hope some of you guys realize that. Like, you're never going to fucking get anywhere if that's the case. I mean, it's going to take you another 10 games to actually see a really, like, improved track editor in that sense. It literally will. So, there's just some massive things that I think they really need to fix. I think they need to make to where they add the whole, where you can adjust the lighting on your track, make it daytime, nighttime, sunset, morning, and pick between a selection of different skyboxes, kind of give your own custom track its own little taste in that sense. They need to add, and I really thought this might have been in the Supercross 2 game, but it's not. They need to have the whole system where you can actually put, like, trees on the track and put different off-track objects and pick where you want all your objects at, like grass objects, bush objects, specifically if they start adding, obviously, where you can make your custom tracks outdoors, not in a stadium. You know, they need to add the whole system where you can put your own trees in areas, your own bushes in areas, your own rocks in areas, and then that expands into being able to put logs on the track, rocks on the track, all that kind of stuff, and being able to actually make Endurocross style sections. I can't believe there's not Endurocross. It being a Supercross game, you would just expect, like, oh, hey, maybe they'll add Endurocross tracks in the Supercross game. That would fit so fucking perfectly, but no, they don't have that in there. You know, not even mentioning like an actual trail hair scramble in the trees type track, but a damn Endurocross track. Just make it to where you got some logs and rocks like you literally had on your compound of MXGP Pro, where you could cross logs, little trail type sections. Why don't you have that in this game on a Supercross track where you've got inside a stadium too, where you can make like a Endurocross style tracks in the game? That would be add so much more to it. And then being able to make your custom Endurocross tracks like a whole other level and layer to it. But then if they start adding, I know they kind of played around a little bit with the elevation, not really, but being able to make the U up into the stands kind of adds a little bit of elevation to the track, and the pool dipping down in the ground adds a little bit of an elevation feel, even though it's really just 2 custom track pieces. They need to have a plethora of more elevation type pieces in there, or give you the ability to actually lower down, you know, areas on the track and raise elevation areas on the track. That would add so much to it. Being able to add water sections on the track, even when it's not having the rain mode on, that would be massive. Pre-made ruts where you want them, make certain rough, actually being able to add braking bump areas on the track, and you could add that on top of any piece in the game. So you could have like a triple jump, but it's got braking bumps through the triple jump, so you've got a roughness triple jump. There's just a plethora of different ways they could do that. You know, you could have like you know, a ton of different actual roughness levels that you could put on any jump piece in the game or any whoop piece in the game, where it would totally change. And you could invert it too, right? You could have it to where it either adds roughness or it kind of like deforms a little bit of the roughness. So it either like adds a braking bump or tears down into the whatever kind of jump piece you're adding it onto, like a triple jump face or a whoop. You know, you can make like cupped out whoops from the first lap on the track, have like really deformed whoops like that. And then if you have a straightaway, you could have like, you know, rough braking bump straightaways, instead of trying to do this where you're trying to put whoops in there to kind of simulate roughness. That doesn't really work all that great. So there's so many little things they could do like that, but I think the biggest thing is getting away from this, just putting like more pieces in there, right? I know I say they need to add more pieces, but that's just like in the mindset of that there's only pieces. But if they get into that whole system of, where like I'm saying, where you can add roughness on any piece and kind of morph and change the pieces in ways. That's going to be the real ticket for them, you know, really being able to, like let's just say they have that pool piece in there that kind of dips down into the terrain. Maybe you can adjust how deep it goes, like literally like a 1 to 100% slider where you can adjust how deep that goes, and every one of your jump pieces in the game have a slider on them on how big scale they are. Like, so you can have literally make your own track in that sense. You can still base it off of the piece system, right? Like putting your pieces in different areas and trying to lock them all together to complete your track, but give us more options on how to adjust and skew and warp each individual piece. And that's how you're going to get those really unique, one-of-a-kind, personalized custom tracks in there, and that's really going to fix your track editor. So it's all of that that's really going to make a big difference in adding, like I said, pre-made ruts, not only like on your straightaway pieces, but being able to make pre-made ruts on any piece in the game, right? So you can make like a slider of 1 to 100% on a rut thing, so you can either make it like super small or super deep ruts up a triple face or up a jump face or on a sand whoop section or where the hell ever you want to put it. You know, that's going to be the real way to fix their track editor. And to be completely honest with you, that's what I expected, way more of that to have been in Supercross 2, the official video game, than what's in there currently. I mean, that's just what I would have expected more of. So either way, that's just kind of my opinion on some of the new custom track stuff. And the thing about it is it's not like they're turning their track editor into a full-blown PC, you know, MX Simulator Reflex track editor. They could still do all this with their current sort of track editor system and engine and all that. It could still work like it does now, where you can piece together a track super quick. Beginners can use it, your grandma can use it, right? But this would just be a way to add more variation to it, more different stuff you can actually do with it, and that would be so much appreciated by the fans if you did that milestone. I would come on here and be like, oh, fuck yeah. If you made it to where you could actually start warping every single jump, changing the size, make all these different dirt compounds on every single kind of jump piece that you have in the game, or piece period that you have in the game, being able to add pre-made ruts, roughness on any piece in the game, like a 1 to 100% scale on how much it's actually doing. All this little stuff would be insane, adding where you can actually make your track outdoors, not just in a stadium, making it to where you can, you know, put like trees in different areas, bushes, grass in different areas, and rocks in different areas, actually putting logs and rocks on the track, cool stuff like that. That is certainly the way to go, man. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.